Good morning. Merry Christmas Eve. Today is December 24th, 2012, and this is episode 3 of the Mel-Tran Designs Knitting Corner podcast. I'm Melissa, your host, also known as Anansi on Ravelry, and on Plurk and Twitter, it's Mel-Tran Designs. There's also a group on Ravelry called Mel-Tran Designs. Please come join us. It's a lot of fun. Let's jump right into things because I had to get my husband to take my kids to go get last minute stuff for a potato dish that we're taking today, and I don't know how long they'll be gone, probably about 5 or 6 hours at this point with how many last minute people there are at Walmart, but I don't want to push it. So let's jump right into happenings this week. It was not really an eventful week per se. Let's see, on Friday, I got to deliver flowers for a friend of mine. She owns a floral shop, and a few times a year she needs help with delivering flowers, and she pays in cash. So I was able to do that to help her out, and that's really nice. I usually do it for a few extra days, but she turned down some online ordering companies. She turned them off, so she was able to have fewer, which was good for the people that work there, but not so good for me who takes all the overflow deliveries. But that's all right. I got to stay home and be lazy, which is my favorite thing to do. Let's see, Friday night there was it's technically the finishing party that the local yarn store puts on every year. It's usually the Friday before Christmas and it goes from 7 to midnight, and we bring tons of food, and we hang out and knit, and it's supposed to be to finish projects, but a lot of us were already done, so I think more people started projects than finished them this year, so that was kind of funny. We consider it kind of our Knit Night Christmas party, though, because that's usually the people that come is just the regulars from Knit Night throughout the year, and so it's a lot of fun to see everybody right before Christmas and give people gifts and things like that. That night, it started the night before. I couldn't walk for a couple of days this week. I know that probably seems, I don't know, insignificant / significant. I am a clogger. If you look around on my YouTube channel, you'll see some clogging videos. A couple of those actually have me in them. Any that say Melissa and Josh, or anything that's intermediate, that's me usually dancing. Except for the girl with the brown hair, long brown hair, who is the instructor's assistant for my class. But anyways, I'm on a team this year, and we have started our second dance for this year. And at the very beginning, there's a ripple, and we do a squat, jump up, squat, jump up, squatting with our arms. Anyway, it looks really cool, but we had to do it over and over and over again. And then we had to do it over and over again with the music. And I don't know how many times we did it, but after a while, it was when we were doing it with the music, I squatted down and my legs both went, both of my thighs just seized up. And I looked at my instructor and I went, Robbie, I can't do this anymore. And so he said, just do the arms. Don't worry about the legs. We'll be fine. And I couldn't walk that night. I couldn't walk Friday very well. I walked like an arthritic old woman. After I had been sitting for quite a long time at the knitting party, I got up to walk to go wash my hands, and I was trying to walk as normal as I could because I don't usually play it up, but my legs kept spasming as I stepped, so it was useless to try to walk normal. Saturday I was still pretty sore. Yeah, couldn't really do anything. And then yesterday I was feeling pretty normal, and today it doesn't hurt at all, but it was crazy. I must be just horribly out of shape because, well, we did do it a lot of times, but it shouldn't have hurt that bad. So I think I need to be doing some squats, not just in class. So anyways, that was actually rather funny. And let's see. Oh, the last thing on happenings this week is actually more happening today and tomorrow, which next week I guess could have been covered, but I'm just going to tell you my Christmas plans. So every year on Christmas Eve, at about 3 or 4, everyone in my husband's family goes over to his in-laws' house, and we do Christmas Eve. His family's Christmas is on Christmas Eve every single year. There's a lot of grandkids. There's 19. Jake is one of 6, and almost all of us are married, and so there's lots of adult kids, lots of younger kids, ranging in ages from 1 to 15, and they have so much fun every year. And they do a cousin gift exchange. They're each assigned somebody that they gift to, and so that's a lot of fun for them, and the adults get to sit and talk and hang out. And so we do that on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, well, no, still on Christmas Eve, when we're done there, we actually go to my dad's house and set up camp, and we spend the night there and do Christmas Day with my family, which my family is considerably smaller. It's just me and my 2 sisters and my dad, and my one sister is married and they don't have any kids. So there's just me and my family, and then my sisters, my brother-in-law, and my dad, and animals running all over the place. So it's a lot more calm than with my husband's family, but it's always so much fun. And we stay up all night long wrapping presents, and then in the morning when we wake up, we always do a really big breakfast with, bacon, eggs, pancakes, hash browns, waffle. I mean, you name it, it's there for the breakfast, and it's so good. And the kids don't mind doing it before they open presents because it's all they've ever known. So we don't really give them the option to throw a fit or anything else, because that's just what we do. So anyways, that's what we're going to be doing for Christmas. With my grandparents in town this year, my grandma said they were going to try and come over to my dad's, but I don't know if that's going to work. Sorry, my eye keeps watering. I don't know if they'll be able to or not, because she isn't really easily mobile, especially getting in and out of cars. So we'll see. We'll get to see them either way. We might, run over to their house tomorrow afternoon or something. But anyway, it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about it. We always have such a great time with family, and watching the kids play is always a treat as well. All right, into the knitting content. Works in progress. I only have 2, and one is in my design section. So I only have one to show you right now, and you'll see why in a minute. This was not a planned project. I decided to throw a couple of last-minute Christmas items together, and this is the very last one that I'm knitting up. It doesn't look like much right now. It's the Damsel hat by Woolly Wormhead. You do a provisional cast on, and then it's knit sideways, and you do short rows, and you can see the shaping here. And then here are my live stitches, and I'm going to just work my way around, and then I will do a Kitchener stitch graphed together. And then what you do is you take one of the ends and you fold it up just for a part of it like this, and then you put a few little buttons on it. It's super cute. It's out of her Bambinis book that I purchased, and it's a really fun book if you want to look at it on Ravelry. It's actually in digital and paper, or well, hard copy. I got the digital version because it's cheaper, and you also get a 20% off coupon for the hard copy when you get the digital version. So anyway, this yarn is called Pure Gold DK. I don't remember where I bought it from. It's been quite a few years, so this will count for some deep stash diving for a couple of different podcasts that I watch. It's a DK weight, and it's made out of Courtelle, C-O-U-R-T-E-L-L-E. I looked it up, and it said that it's an acrylic that feels like wool. I don't know. It's machine washable. I got it for a baby sweater a long time ago and ended up having a ton left over. It is super soft. It was really inexpensive, and it's knitting up really nicely. You'll see in my FOs something else that I made out of it. So anyways, that'll be done today, hopefully. Obviously, it needs to be done. It's for Kyan, my 6-year-old. I'm using my Darn Pretty interchangeable size 3s for this. These are their metal tips. And the size 3 is a 3.25 millimeter. So, right on to FOs. I finished Anansi's socks. These have been washed. I actually machine washed and dried them because I wanted to see how they acted, since they're for a 9-year-old. They did really well. In fact, they bloomed and softened up like I didn't know they would, because this yarn, this is the Regia Galaxy. It's not soft yarn. not soft sock yarn at all. You can tell it's going to be a workhorse yarn, but it did soften up quite a bit, and it's a lot fluffier than it was. So here they are, the 2 tube socks. She is going to love them. She did catch me working on them one day, and she said, "Oh, are those for me?" I said, "Why would they be for you?" She said, "Because I asked you to make socks." I said, "Oh, well, I didn't think you'd want this kind of color." So I know I totally lied, and I said something else, and pretty much told her they were for me, and I think she was pretty bummed, but that's okay. It'll all be better tomorrow. So that's those. Like I said, they were made out of the Regia Galaxy on size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. The next FO I have is a set that I made for Eli. This is one of my last minute Christmas gifts that I decided to throw together. This first one is called the Quick and Easy Gator. It's actually a free pattern that I put out. This is a shorter version because he's only 4. And I did add some increases down at the bottom. See how it bells out there? It makes it so it can lay down on your neck really well. And I think I am going to add it to the pattern itself because I've done it. I made Anansi's like that, and Cayenne's that you'll see, I did that. And Anansi's, she's been wearing hers for, I don't know, a month and a half maybe, and it comes down out here, so that way when you put your coat on, it's still tucked in under your coat. So anyways, this is just some Comfort DK, Barocco Comfort DK that I held doubled. Eli is very sensitive to wool and anything with wool in it. He always says it itches him, and the Comfort is super soft. It's completely machine washable. It's the perfect thing for a 4-year-old. Plus it's only like $4 a skein. So can't go wrong there. So here's this, and then did I forget to size 8 needles, which is 5.0 millimeter. The other part of his set is this adorable hat. I'm going to put it against the wall here so you can see. This is the Polpo hat by Woolly Wormhead out of the Bambinis book again. And this is black Barocco Comfort in the worsted, and then I doubled the red DK again, and then hers is just a solid color, but I thought it would be fun to kind of mix some other things in there. And then you have all of these tentacles on top here that are really easy to make. It was a quick knit, and I can't wait to see it on him and how these flop all over the place. So anyways, this was knit on a size 7 4.5 millimeter needle, and I do have pictures of these, so they'll be in my projects probably after Christmas because I'm not going to mess with trying to do that today. So I do have pictures taken, like I said, so I'll be able to upload it, and I'll try to get pictures of this actually on him too, so that'll be super cute. And the last thing I have in my FOs is a Quick and Easy Gator for Cayenne, and here it is. It's the same yarn as what I'm making her hat out of. The difference is I also held a strand of some toe footsies that I had left over from a club I was in, at least 3 years ago. They had a, I don't know, toe footsies sock club thing. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what color this is or what the name is. It's kind of a raspberry red and a black mixed together. So it's held along with it. I just wanted to kind of add some character. You can see that it bells out at the bottom because I did the increases. I did more increases because she's bigger than Eli. This is probably going to be fairly big on her, but that's okay. It'll last for a really long time. These I knit on size 8 5.0 millimeter needles, and yeah, they're on the pure gold and the toe footsies, which means that it's also machine washable, so which is nice for a 6-year-old. Moving along, this is going quick. I'm only 14 minutes in. Design corner. A few things. One, the fingerless gloves that I was really trying to make last week. The yarn has been put in my very high quality Trader Joe's dark chocolate edamame yarn holder. I actually really like using this when I'm just sitting at home. Anyway, here's the yarn. Hasn't been touched. Not that bright orange that you're seeing on your screen. I tried and tried and tried different things, and it wasn't meant to be, so I put it away. But hey, that's the shawl pin I was looking for. Okay, sorry. The cable that I was trying to use for the fingerless gloves was not working, but I realized that I could use it for some socks. So instead of having fingerless gloves on the needles like I promised you last week, I have a new sock design on the needles that I am totally in love with. I'll show you the back so you can see the colors first. This is out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works in her Bounce Base, and it's the Finders Keepers colorway. There's 400 yards per skein. You can see here's my Afterthought heel. These are cuffed down, but they probably could be translated into a toe up. I don't know if I'll put that into the pattern or not. But here is the front. Let's see how well. This looks kind of funky with this fold here. It's because the cable that I was going to use for the fingerless gloves starts up here in the ribbing and goes down and curves around. So it'll kind of come from the back of your leg and wrap around the front. So this will fill out nicely when it's actually on a foot. And then it travels down this way, and then it's just going straight. See, I'll go on this side. Here's the heel. So now it's just going to go straight along the top of the foot until the toe. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 stripes, and I need 11 before I start the toe decreases. So this is actually knit up really quickly, and it's only a 4-row repeat, very memorizable. What I have sitting here is a row counter that I made, and I just slide up one of the beads each time so I know which row I'm on, get to the third one, do the fourth row, slide them back down. Super easy, portable. I actually worked on it during church yesterday. Nobody even noticed that I was doing a tiny bit of cabling every other row on there. So anyways, I'm using size 1, my signature size 1 stiletto tip needles. And the size 1 is a 2.25 millimeter. Get this back in here. And here is, like I said, Fiber Nymph Dye Works in her Bounce Base, which is 400 yards, 80/20 merino nylon in the Finders Keepers colorway. It is so soft. This is the first time I've ever used her yarn. A friend of mine actually got it for me when she was down at SSK earlier this year. So I kind of sneakily got around having to try to catch one of her updates because it's hard. They always sell out so fast. So anyways, that is coming along quite nicely. I'm sure at least the first one will be finished by next week, and then I will have to reverse it to make, because that's the right sock, and then I will reverse the pattern to make the left sock. It's actually quite easy, even with cables. It's quite easy. The only thing that's hard is that I didn't have a cable needle that was the same size as my size 1, but I had some double points that are my 000 needles, and so I just grabbed one of those to use. The last thing, the sweater that I was working on, the gray sweater that I showed you last week, I decided that after knitting, I don't know, I had a few inches done. The yarn just wasn't going to work. It wasn't what I designed the sweater with, and it was too lightweight. I really wanted a coat type consistency, and it was very worsted weight cardigan, which is fine, and I have an idea for a cardigan already, but that yarn just was not working with the pattern, and Chris from Briar Rose Fibers was kind enough to say I could send it back to her, and she actually has a couple things in mind that I can use. So we are still, we're going back to the planning stages of that. My shawl's kind of sticking out funny. We're going back to the planning stages with that, which is fine. I would rather it take longer and get it perfect than settle for something that I know just isn't what I had envisioned. So stay tuned for more on that, and we'll get the perfect solution figured out, and I'm really excited for that prospect. All that being said, and all of that being checked off on my list, I'm done in less than 20 minutes. So have a great Christmas, stay safe, and I will see you next week. Until then, keep knitting. Bye.